got a song playing right now.
This shit I slide down Las Vegas Boulevard too. Meet me on 15th to Fremont at the market. Fish with the shrimp and the fries, can't find no parking. City of the bright lights is different after dark here. Take you to Container Park, maybe we can start there. Love for a city, I can swear I found my heart in. Raised in the desert, so the park was like the beach. Rizzy on Sunday, grandma barbecued on weekends. Shopping in the rancho was just a swap meet kid. I feel Vegas when I pass by the Legion. Section 8 baby, but we still live decent. When we talk about the 7, they don't even know the meaning. Pimps and prostitutes like birds and the bees here. Creeping down Owens, you might see a couple fiends near. It ain't always what it seems here. But you could wake up in a dream here, or you could wake up in your dreams dead. Las Vegas Boulevard, I turn a broke man to rich. I slide down Las Vegas Boulevard too. It's that I slide down Las Vegas Boulevard too.
Yo, what's up, y'all? Welcome to the Vague Show, another episode. I got two guys here, man. One from the north, one from the west. My man HP and my man Lil Ray. And I'm gonna let y'all get into some of the things that that happens here in Las Vegas. So, how y'all doing today, man?
Great, marvelous. How we look?
You look good.
How we look?
Fabulous.
That is.
You know what I'm saying? 1 million.
I'm blessed, man. I'm good, brother. Just thankful for another day.
So, man, we've been knowing each other for some time, but I ain't really spent a lot of time around Ray, because in your whole situation where your life went. But I knew you, I knew of you, you know what I'm saying, growing up. And I would hear names, I would hear shit about you. None of it was good.
I know.
It was all bad.
It was okay.
And, I would see Harvey time to time. I'd do a little dealings with him back in the days. But I used to always see him out in the streets running with his shirt off and, I don't know what he was doing, but I think he was working out.
Getting ready.
Swole, you know what I'm saying?
Getting ready, staying ready.
Yeah, man. Y'all know how we do it on the Vague Show. We here, man, and we got two locals, big time, big shots, and we gonna dig into them and find out some of the things that was going on in their head. And I'm gonna bring this to you first, Ray. What was the city like back in the days, and how has it changed your vision for you to see it today?
Back in the day, the city wasn't prosperous. We didn't have nothing, so you couldn't do nothing. And if you wasn't a hustler or a pimp, you was in the way. But now, 25-20, there's a lot of things that came about that you can make good money for yourself and take care of yourself. You know what I'm saying? I'm one of the ones that's been in the game for 41 years. Catch that. You know what I'm saying? Since the early 80s, and I have seen it grow and I have seen it fall. And it's growing again, So that's my perspective of where we at right now.
What about you, Harv?
Well, for me, in my upbringing, what I saw, man, was hard work. Going to work 9 to 5. Then on the weekends, my uncle and my father would do side jobs and, putting engines in cars, painting houses, things of that nature. So that's where I got my entrepreneurial inspiration from,
Is that right?
Watching people like my uncle and my father do things beyond working a 9 to 5. So, somewhat to piggyback off of Ray, you had to go out there and get it, man. You had to do extra stuff because things was limited. You know what I'm saying? The opportunities wasn't really there growing up here in Vegas. But as the town grew, opportunities opened up, and I feel that those who took advantage of it was able to advance to another level. And being involved in the hotel industry and being around people who parents that own hotels, I was blessed to go to school with a few individuals who parents own hotels. So I seen things differently from North Las Vegas, from the west side. I was able to see how the wealthy move. The first time I ever flew an airplane was a private plane. So what I saw was totally different than a lot of other brothers and sisters who wasn't able to have that advantage. and so I seen it from a different perspective as of you know, that way of living, and that's one of the things that actually pulled me into the streets. You know, when people say the strip about the bright lights, I really seen the bright lights. I really seen how things operated back in the day when the mob was in charge. And in my opinion, when the mob was in charge, it was more structured and disciplined. A lot of the foolery and the foolishness that goes on today on the strip was not happening.
Speaking of the mob, you know, how much influence did the mob have on you? Being here in Vegas, knowing about the mob, did the mob have any influence on you at all?
Who you asking?
You.
No, the mob did not have no influence on my upbringing or my way of moving around in Las Vegas. On the simple fact, the same thing the mob was doing, we was doing as kids. The mob stole a great piece of our history when they called the hole in the wall. That was us. They took it and made movies off of it. But we was doing that before they even came to Las Vegas. See, they had to come to Las Vegas. We was already in Las Vegas. You know what I'm saying? Going in different businesses from the wall or from the ceilings, getting merchandise or jewelry or whatever. When they took it from us as the hole in the wall and made the movie Casino in the 80s, we was we beat that, we dodged the bullet, you know. So, you know, the mob really didn't have.
So the 80s in Vegas, you know, to Harvey, like the 80s in Vegas was like, what did that look like?
More structure, more discipline.
What about in the streets? What did that look like? Just street dudes, like your neighborhood, his neighborhood. What did that look like to you in the 80s?
Well, for me, I got a taste of both worlds. As of growing up on the west side, growing up in North Las Vegas, having relatives all over the city. So I seen the hustle. I was fascinated by the dress code. You know, when you go on the west, you know what I'm saying, you see the players, you see the pimps, you see the cars, and boy, the language, you know, so that drew me in. And then, you know, as of my, the influence that the mob had on me is I was in a situation where I was friends with someone whose family was from New York, and my one friend family was from Chicago. They were both, families were both in the mobs, but it's ran similar but a lot different. The way the New York mob family act and carry themselves is somewhat different from Chicago.
So we all seen the movie. We seen the movie Scarface.
Yes.
Was that any influence?
Not for me. By the time the Scarface was came out, I was already dipped in the game, man, and you know, I took the baton and ran with it.
Was Scarface any influence on you?
Scarface wasn't it was a nice show because in the early 80s, I was already in prison as a teenager. So I didn't really see Scarface as being a hit. You know what I'm saying? It was something that I couldn't wait to get back out and do and try my luck. You know what I'm saying? That's why I told you just a minute ago, the mob didn't really have an effect on me because I was locked up with them.
Right. At a young age.
At a young age, 17 years old. You know, the Ernie's Palachos and all them, I was locked
still
up.
Still 12th grade.
Yeah, that was
still 12th grade.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. You know, I know a lot of dudes, you know, out of Vegas, you know, that got locked up early and they disappeared and you ain't see them for a long time. And then I had a partner that went to the joint, and when he got out, he had did like 5 years. When he got out, he said, "Man, you know all them dudes you ain't seen in a long time?"
Yeah.
I said, "Yeah." He said, "You know where they at?" I said, "No." He said, "They in the joint."
Yeah.
He started naming off all kinds of cats. And I'm like, "Dang, I'm not," you know, because you never know. And this was like after junior high school. You know what I'm saying? These cats was getting in trouble. I mean, there was a lot of dudes running through the streets. Vegas, the streets there was some clubs we went to. There was some spots that we used to go hang out, some arcades, and we would run up behind different clubs. Did y'all run across any of those type of arcades, clubs here in Vegas back in the 80s?
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah? What was one of the spots that you Pulled up at?
What was the name of that spot? The arcade? Third World?
Third World.
Third
Third
World.
World.
Yeah.
Third World was Third World was exactly what it was. You get caught up there slipping and
That's when the breakup of the GQs and the PBs, when they was all together running around, I think that's when that kind of broke that thing up with them.
Yeah, I wasn't there, but I definitely heard
I
about
was there.
that.
I seen it.
I definitely heard about the epic.
Well, I was there. I was a part of it. We moved as one, and you're correct. It was a part of a breakup of a dynasty family. But when you break up, you move on for bigger and better things. They came bigger, we came bigger. You know what I'm saying? But everybody was trying to outdo or outbeat the #1 family. And that's always been and always will be the GPKs, Gerson Park Kingsmen. It don't get no bigger than that. They
Real
was
talk.
#1.
Absolutely.
You got to give them their flowers and their fruits while they're here.
Real
You know
talk.
what I'm saying? So, what we was doing, we was learning behind them. When I say them, I mean the Gerson Park.
Absolutely.
But
Gerson Park Kingsman.
yeah, but
What up, Taurus?
What that K like? Yeah.
But we as kids, cause we kids.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
And-
real though.
And as kids, and as me being one of the youngest kids in that type of environment, you have to hold your own.
So why you used to be at the park starting fights and stuff? You know what I'm saying?
It wasn't nothing else to do. I'm just giving it to you like it was. You know what I'm saying? I can remember.
We was at City View Park, man, and you up there fighting, man.
That's okay.
You tell the whole everybody running and leaving. You 13 or some shit. You up there fighting, man, and everybody running around. Who was that fighting? Lil Ray.
Yeah. Yeah.
Corrupt the party.
Sometimes when you show your talent, you make a person notice you. You don't want to go around every day fighting every day.
I'm gonna tell you something you probably never knew, but when I used to see you out when we was younger, we didn't know each other, but I knew of you and stuff like that. I would always say, man, I wish that dude would come over here and trip. You know what I'm saying? I used to be like, I just wish, because I'm the peaceful dude that if you out there bullying people, I don't like to see that. You know what I'm saying?
I wasn't a bully.
You was creating havoc.
Oh.
You created havoc, you know what I'm saying? And I was one of them dudes that, I was like super friends. You was like doomsday, you know what I'm saying? You came to destroy the party. I was trying to get the party jumping. So I used to think like that, but I never really knew you though. But when I got a chance to know you, you know what I'm saying? You always smile. You always respected me. We always got a great smile. Anybody with a great smile got a great mind. You know what I mean? And when we came together, when you wore my shirt to the park, man, that just changed. That changed everything that I thought about you and everything that was in me for a good person that you is, because you showed, you was real with that. That wasn't something I called you, say, man, what a shirt, man, whoop, whoop. You wore that thing, because you originally said you was going to wait till it blow up, and then you was going to wear it, and I love that. That was like real brother love from the streets, you know what I'm saying, from one neighborhood to the other neighborhood. That was like a bond.
Well, when you give back, you don't know when you're going to give it. You know what I'm saying? You just put it on and give. You let people see, Mike Elliott, OG sporting Mike Elliott shirt. Yeah. Mike Elliott and Lil Ray is family.
Right. Yeah.
My youngest son is your nephew.
Absolutely.
So, why not support you?
Why not? You know what I'm saying? I loved it.
See, that's information. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's a lot of things.
Oh, y'all tied.
Oh, yeah, we tied.
We tied in.
Me and you tied.
Okay, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? It ain't a day go by, you know what I'm saying, that I don't see you and think about you. You know what I'm saying, of what we've been through.
Yeah, together.
You know what I'm saying? You got a little story you want to tell it?
Yeah.
So, how you meet Lil Ray?
Well, at Doolittle Pool.
Okay.
And
I want to hear it like you told it a minute ago.
Well, I didn't even know the cat, and I'm at Doolittle Pool. It was the place to go. I'm standing 3 feet, And Lil Ray was trying to push me in the pool, and I said, I can't swim. And he's always been who he is, boisterous. He said, well, what you doing up here, honey? You know what I'm saying? He was attempting to push me in the pool, and I told him I couldn't swim.
Right.
So he immediately got on my helmet, and he was like, well, what you doing up here for? You shouldn't be up here if you can't swim.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know, and that was the thing. You know, you were around water, people push in the water and things of that nature. And I told him that, you know, I couldn't swim, and, you know, we always been good. And, you know, to me, man, he's never been a bully. People got to understand when you in them streets, man, when you in Rome, you do what the Romans do. So it wasn't about him being a bully. In our era, we call it a go. It was a go. You know what I'm saying? Not a lot of talking back and forth. If, you know, once you raise your voice, once you acknowledge that you and this person is not seeing eye to eye, somebody got to get off first, man. Yeah. So, you know the rule is protect yourself at all times. So it's not about being a bully. You know what I'm saying? You know, a go is a go.
You ain't starting.
I'm 60 years old, and a go is a go still.
So
you know.
So at this time right now, what are some of the values that you learned back then that you would share with the youth today? Like, what are some of the things that, you know, you got value from grandma, whatever?
Well, first of all, let me say this to the youth. If your OGs is not speaking how we speaking right now, they don't love you. You know what I'm saying? They setting you up. You actually a crash dummy. Because any real OG who really got love for you will explain to you, gang banging is not it. Selling drugs is not it. I stay away from the P word. I say womanizing. You know what I'm saying? Anyone who doesn't explain to you as a man, they don't got love for you, man. They setting you up, man. You're a crash dummy. So for me is, you know, for me to even be sitting here, man, I want to thank the Most High God, you know, for His grace and mercy, and definitely for a praying mother. You know.
You believe in God?
Yes, sir. Okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Higher power, man. I'm wearing it right now, brother. Okay. You know, every day, brother. You know, in order upon waking, I say thank you. You know what I'm saying?
So what is higher power? Higher
power, I believe that there's a higher power in all of us. And sometimes it takes someone or something to bring it out of us. So, you know, the profession I'm going into is, I don't use motivational speaking. I say I'm an inspirational speaker. I travel around and I speak to the youth. I go to the detention centers, go to Spring Mountain, and, you know, God blesses me every day to wake up and give me the energy to go tell my story. You know, I'm a homeowner, I'm an investor, I'm out here, man. You know what I'm saying? I've been doing this for 35 years straight. I eat and sleep this, talking to the youth, inspiring them to do better. I started a nonprofit in the early 90s called I Care Youth Foundation, working with student athletes, and that's my goal. That's my mission, to let the young people know that there's other alternatives, and then out here in these streets making bad decisions. Because the way I look at it, life is about choices and opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Making positive choices and taking advantage of opportunity. And I feel as our culture, that's what we don't do. We steady talking about the man, the man, the man.
So about the man, it's about yourself. Like, to both of y'all, but I'm gonna ask you first. When did you start being loyal? You know, when did you start being trustworthy? When did you, you know, start it? You know, what made you start being loyal? What was the draw that you had to be loyal?
Loyal to myself?
Yeah.
Actually, upon my incarceration in 1988, when I hit the yard, at the height of gangbanging in Las Vegas, state of Nevada, there was a situation where a blood was looking for one of his OGs, and he wasn't around. And I told him that he was at work, and I said, "What's up?" He's like, "I'm trying to get a couple of soups for my guy." And I shared with him. I gave him a couple of soups. We ended up talking, and the light came on. This cat just like me, brother. He done made some decisions. He in the penitentiary. So upon my incarceration, I knew right then and there that we tripping over a color, a street, because your mom and father moved into another neighborhood, live on a different street from me. So upon my release in 1990, that's when I started working with the youth, you know, because I realized that I'm tripping over color. I'm tripping over some land and some property that I don't own. And that's when I started to self-educate myself. And the first thing that helped me make the decision of changing my life is my grandfather, who I'm named after. my father's name. So that's all we have as men is our name. Then I had 2 children on the outside, and I had a Harvey Jr. And one thing that I told myself, that he or she will not go through what I went through.
Now I like that because that's how I felt about my kids.
Yeah.
What about you, Ray?
Well, to touch on the kids.
No, about what made you loyal. What?
Oh, loyalty. Well, I was loyal at a young age to my gang, the Playboys, Las Vegas Playboys. I was loyal to them for over 45 years. But loyalty, as you grow older, you see what loyalty is. You know what I'm saying? You see the shape and the forms of loyalty. Whether I was ready to kill, fight, and lose my life for them. I gave half my life to this one organization. It's the Bloods, the PBs, the Playboys. There's many names, but you're going to come back to one thing, Weaver Street. You know what I'm saying?
They call it the Jets.
They call it the Jets. It don't get no better.
Can't get around.
And I remember when people would come to town, like from out of town, and I would take them by the Jets because they wanted to see the projects, right? So I would take them by the Jets. They said, "What the projects at?" I'd be like, "Right there." That was like a good living over there.
Yeah.
But to us, you know what I'm saying, it was, and
But it
crazy,
was.
Yeah.
Good living.
Yeah, no doubt.
We
My
didn't know
grandmother lived over there.
that. We didn't know that. We just figured that out
Yeah,
today.
right, absolutely.
We didn't know that, but if the same individuals that you took over there, all they had to do was get out the car.
No, it wasn't no getting out the car at that time. It was too rough, and you know what I'm saying. It was
But they said
it was the streets was hot.
But you hear what they said? It was good living over there. All they had to do was get out the car.
Absolutely.
If you got out the car, you'd have seen a different vibe.
Yeah.
You'd have seen a different viewpoint of what's good living.
We took them by the Gerson one day. They was like, that looked like a castle, but it's like, country folks. You know what I mean? You know how they live down there. They come down here. That ain't no, Kansas City projects or something like that.
Chicago, New York, Detroit,
How they living all stacked on top of each other.
Yeah, that's all they is, stacked on top.
Yeah, they just stacked on top. Everything is up. And they go up all these buildings. You can't even get out. All up on the roof doing whatever. In Vegas, we just went in the backyard, park across the street or something. You know what I mean? We did. Because almost every neighborhood had a park.
I know that at a young age, loyalty is that all you have. Your word is that all you have. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't got a good word and people can't say he's trustworthy, whatever he say, he gonna stand on it. If your word ain't like that, you wasn't nothing. People didn't look for you. People didn't rely on you because your word was nothing. You know what I'm saying? And your name is your word. So when you talk about loyalty and stuff like this, see, we had to learn this at a young age, and I'm bringing it back to 83, 84. Most people in that era, they was in school. I was. They was trying to graduate. I was trying to kill, maim, and figure out how I'm going to do this 12 years. You know what I'm saying? Because it wasn't peaches and creams back there. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't a rainbow back there. And every day you had to be on some type of go. Because there's older guys up in there. It wasn't a safe lock like it is now. I'm one of the foundations that me, the GPKs, and we'll get them on a subject and we can talk about it in a group. Cal folks from the GQs, we pushed the line for them to stop taking, stealing, humiliating us as kids.
Hold on one second. What up, Darren Barnes? He say he see us right now. DB,
what's up,
how you doing, baby?
What up, folks?
Yeah. From another project from Weaver Street. He come up the back of you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I the first time I met Darren, I knew of him and I had heard about his mom and dad. He went to school with my mom and dad, and my first day at Western, I transferred over to my first day there, and the coach the gym teacher was moving all of the stuff out of the weight room into another room because I guess they was going to redo the weight room or something, right? So these two white dudes They got, you know, big wrestling match. You roll them up,
Mhm.
and you know you get one person on one end, nothing. You carry them. So Darren walking, just being all cool, and they ram Darren with the mat.
Oh Lord.
And so I'm saying to myself, you know, these dudes at Western, they weak. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing to happen. Darren turned around, wow! I mean, he just went, and I helped him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, of course, the teacher came and broke it up. We was in high school, and Darren was pissed. You know what I'm saying? But that was my first day at the school.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, you did it for a good cause, and you did it for a good person.
ain't no doubt.
Because he is a good brother.
He's a good dude, man. Love
Yeah.
that dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, now we getting back to you know, just growing up in Vegas, man, and what it was like. What are some of the obstacles that you faced that didn't allow you to make moves, or you didn't allow yourself to make moves?
Well, in Las Vegas, people got to understand, when they come to Las Vegas, they see lights. They see everything that the unfortunate can't see. And it's set up that way. 1971 was the first year that they let blacks go
On the
down
strip.
on the strip and eat and enjoy themselves. 1971. It's 2025.
That ain't that long ago.
That wasn't that long ago.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So when people talk to me about what we ain't have nothing. That's why you seen everybody uptight. That's why you seen me always anxious. You know what I'm saying? But one thing we was going to do is learn how to fight. One thing we was going to do is learn how to get some money. Put some money in your pocket. Have some money. You know what I'm saying? I was 10 years old and had a horse. My own horse. You know what I'm saying? You know, we ain't got to go off of how I got it and all of that, but I had a horse. You know what I'm saying? At 10 years old.
Right.
You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
wow.
So, you know, Las Vegas is changed for the better, and the people can grow now within themselves. All you got to do is one thing: get a job.
Hey, there's a thing that has been said in Las Vegas for years, and I'm gonna just say this and tell me your experience. The pig lady.
Yeah. It
What's
was
your
right,
experience on that?
The pig lady was right there on Highland. I never seen her,
But you always heard about it.
but I never was scared of her either.
Right. What about you?
I was scared to death.
But you never seen her.
Never seen
So
her.
so when people describe what she's supposed to look like or what it was, what was that like?
Well, I lived on Highland.
I understand.
I mean, on Highland
Right.
before they turned it into Martin Luther King.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Thanks to Josh Elliott.
A lot of people don't even know that Highland was Martin Luther King.
Yeah, and if it wasn't for Josh Elliott, it would have never happened.
So when the pig lady,
You know, I never seen the pig lady. I would hear about it all the time, and of course, you'd be scared because you hear all these wild stories. But you never seen her. You didn't even know if it was even true.
It wasn't true.
You know what I mean?
there was a fish.
As you got older, you realize it wasn't true. But growing up in Vegas as a child and a youngster, the story of the pig lady,
How you gonna be scared of the pig lady?
man,
As
I
big
was
as
scared.
you was.
I was scared of the pig lady, man.
Yeah, you lucky you ain't tell me that at the pool.
What about Mary Wells? Y'all used to say Mary Wells?
No, not at all.
Y'all don't know what that is?
Look,
No, not at all.
Mike, and we not that far apart, but in my era, we didn't play. When we go to school,
Well, all we did was play.
yeah, but that's y'all. But we didn't.
That's the Jets, man. We
This is-
played, man.
We
We
didn't-
played, man. Ricky Space, man. We played, man.
We didn't play kickball, volleyball, teddy ball, all that shit. We didn't play.
That's all we did. We played 2-on-2 in the streets in 113 degrees. We played raced up and down the street. I remember,
Pole to pole.
I remember the pole to pole. I remember when they got tourists, greedy when they got tourists to
Yeah.
race me. Because I was whooping everybody and I was talking smack. And he said, I'm going to go get my cousin for you. You know, because Greedy was older than me, but I was whooping the kid's mind. He said, I got somebody. Taurus is a year older than me, and that wasn't nothing to me. Taurus whooped my ass. Taurus smoked me, and I'm like, no, man, let's race again. I'm still ready to race. Taurus done beat me by a car distance. You know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm going to get him next time. Taurus jumped on the back of that motorcycle, went back to the west side. And that was like 70s, you know what I'm saying? That was 70s. But living in Vegas, man, I mean, it's been a big growth you know, the town has changed like drastically as far as the look. So in the world of casinos downtown, what was it like when you was down there back in the 80s? What was the casinos like? You ever gamble underage in the casinos?
I never went to the casinos in the 80s.
No.
I was locked up in the 80s. I experienced casinos in the 90s.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And I didn't go to play casinos, the table games and stuff like that. I went downtown for one reason, to hustle.
That was a cold spot to hustle too.
Yeah, but you know.
No, downtown you can make money down there because you got all the tourists, you got all the bus girls, the waitresses, everybody spending money. So you making money down there.
Well, what I learned from downtown and going anywhere out of your region is you stand out more.
Absolutely.
So I didn't want to stand out.
But you got to think it'd be so many other people on the block doing the same thing.
I wanted to blend in. You know, I wanted to blend in with my own people. You know, yeah.
I mean, everybody got their preference on how they. Yeah.
And
it don't make you wrong or right.
No. It don't make you wrong or right. You just do what's best for you.
Do what's best for you.
You know.
What about you, Har?
The 80s was beautiful for me. You know.
What's some moments that happened in Vegas in the 80s that nobody really know about, but it was interesting to see or be around?
You know, just the growth. You know, as of like you said in '71, them allowing us to go on the strip and eat and things like that, and just hearing about the entertainers, the black entertainers. You know, people gotta understand in the 80s, man, you know, the Rat Pack, you know what I'm saying, you know, we was caught up in that, you know what I'm saying, you know, so it was very enjoyable for me as a family, you know what I'm saying, togetherness and things of that nature. And like, you know, like Ray was saying that we didn't know that we didn't have anything because what we had was each other.
Yeah.
So, you know, I couldn't wait till the weekend to go with my cousins in my house, my uncle's house. Every Sunday, I don't care where you was in the country. If you came into Vegas, my uncle lived on Helen Street, and they still got the house over there in Crip City. And yeah, man, I just loved my cousins and them was my brothers and sisters. You know, they my cousins, but we were so close knit. And so, you know, 80s was real beautiful for me, man, as the family orientation thing going down and just hanging out with your cousins. You couldn't wait for the weekend. And, you know, there was a lot of structure and discipline in my home. I'm speaking personally from my personal experience. You know, anything and everything that I did outside of what I saw and how my mother and father raised me, you know, 4-bedroom, 2-parent home. You know, I tell people I used to move stuff out the front of the fridge to see what was in the back of the fridge. You know, I had a real big wheel.
Yeah, you had
I didn't play on the shopping cart until I went to the Jets or something. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? I had a bike with matching tires. You know, that type of stuff. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, and then too, like I tell people, even with me having 2 older brothers, if I wore something that they had, I liked it, and they just didn't want it. It wasn't a hand-me-down.
Right.
So, like I tell people, man, my family was, middle class. So with me selling drugs and gang banging and being a womanizer, that's all on me. And so when I made this transformation, people said, man, you sure have changed. I said, no, I have not. I am who my mother and father raised me to be.
Yeah.
That was me with that foolery, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know, I always had a spiritual foundation.
That's real.
You know what I'm saying? I just recently buried my mother on the 19th. She passed away June 28th. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I stand here before you because I had a praying mother and the foundation that she laid down, you know, her and my father. You know, so anything that I did that was negative, in and out of the penitentiary, going to jail, that was a straight up choice. And that's why I speak on life is about opportunity and making positive choices. I made bad choices and I didn't take advantage of the opportunities, man. So, you know, that's why I'm so thankful, man.
Because you was hard-headed.
I was beyond hard-headed. I was beyond hard-headed
for a long time. You know, you be breathing just to go on. You know, I remember we used to be at the gym and hold on. We was at the gym and our kids were playing basketball and Hardy jumped on the coach.
No. Let me tell the story now.
Hold on, wait.
No, I gotta tell the story.
Now what you gonna say?
That was competitive, but I wanted to touch base.
I'm gonna come back to the story.
I wanted to touch base on family, cause my mama was a mom and a dad. I had a dad, but I had a mom and a dad, cause my mother had to work 2 jobs, UMC for 38 years, UPS for 28 years. You know what I'm saying? She didn't have free time because she had 5 kids to feed. And back then it wasn't food stamps. Food stamps came on later when the government let you know we'll give you assistant housing and we'll give you food stamps if you kick the man out. Once you got the man out, you could come back down and apply. And this what broke up a lot of black homes.
All of them.
Across the nation.
Across the nation.
And when the black women got that, they felt like they didn't need a man. Yeah, you got a free house. You getting free food. Now you don't need me. Until the bills need to be paid.
And now the young girls are so tricked now that what you just said, they couldn't see it if somebody put it in their face because they so sprung. It's like cocaine. Yeah. They got sprung on it. You know what I mean? Yeah, they own that.
My mother, Ray Lee, still an activist in the black community. She never left. When any of y'all went to the hospital, she rehabilitated y'all. Didn't care if you was from Donna, the States, or anywhere, because that was her job. She met a lot of y'all and rehabilitated a lot of y'all, and she also know that y'all was her son's enemies.
That's cool.
But she did her job.
That's right.
For 38 years.
That's right.
She's still living. She just turned 80. She moving and grooving.
Right on.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the glory of seeing what you come from and where you at now.
So is your pop still here?
No, my pops died when I was, in 2013, I was in Indian Springs, getting it together, going back to college. I had to get that degree.
I love the spin, baby. I love that spin. Real talk.
I had to get that degree, and I got my master's.
That's right.
Because I've been home since 2014. You know what I'm saying?
And you whipping the Maserati?
Oh man, you know the Maserati is old right now.
Yeah, but you whipping it though.
Yeah, but you know it's old right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm standing on something else.
But I mean, to be able to step your game up, from being locked up for a long ass time and then pop out and then get on top of your game.
Well, I always been a hustler.
Yeah.
I always been the guy that can lose it all and regain it all again. It's just the trouble that you have to go through to try to regain it.
What would you say the difference is from like a New York and a Vegas streets? You know what I'm saying? Like the hustle there and the hustle. If you know anything about it. I know you see podcasts, you hear people talk and stuff like that.
Well, one thing I know about New York is cold outside. I don't want to be there. I learned how to stay out of trouble in 1998 in Detroit when I left the feds. They gave me an output on you can get a job, you can work, you can do other things. You just ain't got to spend 24/7 of your life in these streets. That's what turned the light switch in my head around. My ex-wife, Heidi Brinkley, gave me an opportunity to put me in the carpentry school. I never looked back. I always had a trade. Even if I wanted to go to work or I didn't want to go to work, it was money already on that table. And that's why I learned how to build structures, build these fancy restaurants, these fancy hotels, these fancy casinos. You know what I'm saying? That's where I got it from in 1998.
Right.
Now that's 3 decades ago. So that's why you see me eating and moving well. You know what I'm saying? Looking good, smelling good. That's for the ladies,
That's
man.
for the ladies.
That's all
I
for
see
the
you out in the
ladies.
mirror posted up at the bar. Well, you wasn't posted. You was floating. You know what I mean?
Just floating,
You was
man.
floating.
Make them look at you.
So
You know what I'm
we're
saying?
gonna get back to Harvey. So when you jumped on your son, Coach, man, you know, in the short version, like what happened?
Well, first of all, you're wrong. I didn't jump on the coach. My my son is in the league playing for this coach, and his cousin, one of his closest cousins, is playing for another team. So I go to the coach and I said, hey, I'm going to take my son off the team. He says, why? I said, his cousin is playing for this team over there. Oh, no, you can't do that, blah, blah, blah. I think after 3 games.
In the same league?
Yes.
Okay.
And after 3 games, there is a rule, man. There is a rule that after the 3rd game that you play, you cannot transfer teams. So I went to the people that's running the league, the city league, and I told them the situation. That's his cousin. They said it's okay with us if the head coach allows it. So again, when I went to the head coach and I told him what I wanted to do, he didn't want me to do it. And I said, it's just a game, man. Some kids, that's his cousin. You know what I'm saying? You know, we got to lead by example. Let's be men. Let's make the right decision. And, you know, we going back and forth.
That was a mistake.
And I said to him, I said, come on, man, that's weak, bro. That's weak. It's a kid.
You said more than that.
I did.
Yeah.
And so I said what I said to him. He made it a 10. And he challenged me. And I've always had that problem all my life. I didn't grow hair on my face till I was 26 years old. So in the way I speak, my tone, and my delivery, he took me as a sucker. His wife is selling candy right there by the door. She laughing because he called me out.
Oh.
And I say, man, it ain't about that. Then he called me the B word.
Uh-oh.
And we squared up. And I pump faked him, and he fell for the banana in the tailpipe. He fell for the banana in the tailpipe, and that overhand right knocked him
Were you
out.
from out of town or something like that?
I don't know.
But his wife wasn't laughing.
She
no
was
more.
cheerleading,
She wasn't doing
pumping
that
him
no
up.
more.
Hercules.
Yeah.
And when I faked him, he did like this. And when he tried to play peekaboo, when he did that overhand right, he hit right on his button and rang his doorbell. And he was unconscious. And so, hold on, Mike. And so his wife jumped up, and she jumped on me, like beating me up. And so I took her off me, and I said, ma'am, we did what men do. We squared up.
Yeah.
We squared up.
Right. Wasn't no
I got the best of him.
Go get it.
And what happened was, because of my reputation, they kicked me out of the city gyms for 6 months. I was so heated because it was based off of who I once was. The man challenged me. We squared up.
Took you back.
Yes. Listen to this story. He pressed charges.
Yeah.
When I go in front of the judge, I told the judge word for word what I said. And I told the judge, I said, Judge, if he would have knocked me out, we would not be standing here. The judge snickered and he threw the case out. So it wasn't no beat up. It wasn't no jumped on. Men didn't see eye to eye. He pushed the envelope. He squared up. He thought he had an easy win. And yeah.
It was good night for him. But Harvey, you know, I can go back to '83, man. We was at Chaparral High School, and y'all was in there fighting. You, a couple other guys.
Fighting who?
Some white boys.
Anybody.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there was a lot of racial tension back then. You know, what was like Halloween, we had a white
Pull up
kid.
at the skating ring.
We had a
Harvey's
white...
fighting at the skating ring. Everywhere I go, Harvey's fighting.
Well, okay, now we're finna go back to early in the conversation. It was a go.
Yeah.
It was a go. It wasn't about being a bully. I'm 60 years old. Leave me alone. For the audience, where the camera at? I'm 60 years old. Leave me alone. God has taken a lot of things from me, but these hands.
So
I don't bother nobody,
let me ask you this.
and I'm gonna protect myself at all
This is important to know. You know, in Vegas, you know, all around the world, you got gangbanging, you got pimps, you got hustlers, you got people that being that. When did you first become a Crip?
1982, February of 1982. I was fighting at the age of 14 years old. Just anybody, just like you said, I had a rage. Gang banging was at a high level, and
was it that you just wanted to show your skills off? You just wanted to show people how good
no,
you could do it?
no, no. It goes back to what I was saying earlier. You can't push me. Leave me alone. And that's what I wouldn't say I was forced, but I had to show people I'm not the one. I did not want to be a gangbanger.
So when you became a blood, like how old you was, like what was going on with you? What made you become a blood?
I was in junior high school at High Park Junior High. And what made me want to become wasn't nothing else to do. And it was the quickest way and the fastest way that we can make money. The robbing, going in different establishments, robbing them, taking everything, that was like a rush. You know what I'm saying? But when you got to the killing, people being hurt in these clubs or in these establishments, that was it was on another level.
So what would you tell the youth today?
Get a book. Get off the phone, get off the TV, get a book, because that book gonna save your life. If you ain't doing nothing and you don't have a job and you're 18 years of age, go join one of the unions. Pipe fitter, plumbers, electricians, laborers, carpenters. Get yourself and apply yourself in any union as an apprentice. They don't care what you done. They don't care how tough you is, but the sun is always waiting on you outside. That's what I tell the youth right now. See, I didn't know that at a young age because there wasn't no jobs. How could you know something if it wasn't there? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But 2025 is opportunity. Las Vegas is booming. Las Vegas finna build. In the next 7 years, you're not going to even know Las Vegas from here to California, because that's where we're going at. You know what I'm saying?
Stretching all the way
It's
out.
stretching it. But you have to have a job. If you want to not look good, you can't look good smoking a blunt. You can't get employment smoking weed, getting high. They're not going to bring you out there.
So all you youngsters, when y'all go to get your job, don't go in there smelling like weed, smelling like you just had a fifth. You know what I mean? Go in there right.
Brush your teeth, get you a pair of brand new blue jeans and a nice T-shirt, and go down there to the labor's union and tell Tommy White that Ray Jefferson send you down to the labor's union to get a job. We need laborers right now. We need carpenters right now. We need pipe fitters. We need electricians right now. We don't have enough. We need them right now. Teamsters, one of the biggest unions of them all. We need Teamsters right now. Now, if you don't say you didn't know, you got it from Mike Broadcast.
That's right. What you say, Harvey?
And information. North Las Vegas is the fastest growing city in America. Las Vegas is the third fastest city in America. I explain to people right now, trade is the new millionaire. He gave you the game, man. There's no excuses. Put the games down. Get off the phones. Stop smoking the weed. Just hit a nerve. Stop smoking the weed, man. So you buying a sack of weed is the difference between you making $100,000+ a year under the age of 30 years old. If you get into the apprentice program, by the age of 30 years old, you'll be making $100,000+ a year. But you got to apply yourself. You have to put yourself in position to receive a blessing. You know what I'm saying? You're going to bed angry, and you're waking up going to work mad at the low-paying job that you have. I know some people who have never made over $20 in their life and worked 30, 40 years straight. That's ridiculous. the trade.
Some people, that's all they know.
The trade. See, well, we have to get out of that poor mindset.
But some people, I feel you on that.
That's not all they know.
Please let me finish, please. You have to get out of, see, because it's all about the mindset. You know, we spend so much time trying to give our children things that we didn't have. It's not what you leave your children, it's what you leave inside of them. We have to get them out of that mindset, go to work, pay bills, and die. That's that old mindset, and it's still being spreaded, and you know what I'm saying, through our community and through our family. Someone has to break the curse. Someone has to be the bad guy and say, hey, no disrespect to all the maids, no disrespect. Culinary union, I'm not a big fan of it. You work 30, 40 years, you retire, they give you $50,000. Then you only bringing home not even $2,000, $3,000 a month. That's horrible to me. No disrespect, but you know we have to work smarter and not harder. And the thing is, like I tell people, man, I didn't have an HP growing up. My mother and father was in my life, but the HP today, I'm willing to sit you down, put a seatbelt on your ass, dissect it, break it down, and give it to you. And always remember this about me: if I don't know, give me 48 hours, because I know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody.
That knows somebody.
That knows somebody.
The trades is where you can go and live a good life. And I'm a living proof. I am a living proof. So it's not like that they don't know. They know. When they see me, they know. When they look at me, they know. They know where to go. Everybody has got a job today. Everybody is working today. The ones that are not working is the ones that don't want nothing.
I'm not working.
You're doing your own broadcast. You're getting paid right here.
Hey, before we get ready to go out, what role did music, culture, what did that play in your life? What role did that play in your life back in the days of how you came up and what you've been doing, and how did the culture and the music shape?
Music is a big influence. Music is the medallion. You're getting sleepy. And in certain eras of our lives, music has put us to sleep. You are what you consume. You are what you eat. You are what you see. You are what you hear. And that's why the most important time of the day for me upon waking is that first hour, because that's the foundation of your day. So we have to be very careful what we listen to. When I was out there gang banging, I didn't listen to Beethoven when I was en route to do something. I was with that. I'm sideways.
What was your artist of choice or group of choice back then? What would you be playing for your inspiration pump up?
When I was on the streets?
Yeah.
Anything that was promoting violence.
No matter what song, what group. What about you, Ray?
Anything promoting violence.
I liked it James Brown.
You kind of remind me of James Brown.
Yeah, I liked it James Brown.
Yeah.
I liked It's the Big Payback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you wasn't with the rap music?
I wasn't with none of that shit. They talk too fast. But they making money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just because I can't catch it, that don't mean the next person didn't get it. You know? But yeah, I like James Brown. So
the James Brown, is that why you dress like you dress?
Your
sharp suits and hey, listen, when I see you, man, you look like you getting ready to go to the ball.
Well, it's like this. I come from a family of pimps.
Okay.
And players.
Okay.
I was raised and lived in a house with two pimps. You know what I'm saying? My mother's brother and my mother's baby brother. You know what I'm saying? And they had a nice run with getting money off the streets with women. Now, my thing, I wasn't really shaped for that. I was shaped and wanted to use my talent doing something else. I'd rather take it. I'd rather go and get it. You know what I'm saying? Apply myself doing other things. Because I can't wait on nobody to bring me nothing. You know? Yeah, I like James Brown.
Right on. Well, I was an LL fan and until NWA came out.
You light skinned. Why not?
Shots fired.
Yeah, so hey man, thank y'all for tuning in to the Vague Show, man. We got my man Harvey and my man Lil Ray. Just gave it to y'all, and I'm gonna let them have some last words. We're gonna close out. We got a few minutes left. Any last thing y'all want to say about anything?
If you don't have a job and you're 18 years of age, go join one of the unions. I prefer you to go to 872. That's the local that I'm in. It's the labor's union. Or you can go to 1977. That's the carpenters union. Go down to the labor's union and tell Tommy White that Ray Jefferson sent you down here to get your apprenticeship program and let you start working and making great money. That's my advice to Las Vegas youth off this west side and all over. Go get you a job.
For me, I want everybody to remember and understand you can't do anything without God. You got to put God first. He's the only one that can heal you. He's the only one that can save you. You can talk to your friends. I go to therapy every Tuesday. And at the end of the day and at the end of the night, man, you got to give it all to the Most High God. And you can't make any excuses. When you blame others, you live less. You have to wake up every day with the energy. See, that's the problem. Energy. Again, you are what you consume. You're tired in the body. You're tired in the mind. You're tired in the heart. So you can't achieve the highest levels of life because of what you're consuming. So be careful what you're consuming. The energy. Your so-called friends, certain family members, and sadly to say, some of your mothers and fathers are draining you, shackles, holding you down. And don't be afraid to isolate yourself, because in certain situations, man, you got to isolate yourself to elevate yourself. So just be strong and look in the mirror, be honest with what you see, and make the adjustments, and you have a better life. Thank you.
There, y'all got it from my man Harvey. And look, they gave y'all some real game today. Make sure y'all follow that game, and make sure y'all hit like, subscribe, share this. Make sure y'all leave a comment. We'll respond in the comments. If you have a question for Harvey or Ray, just ask them in the comments, and I'm pretty sure they'll be looking at the comments and they'll respond to it. Today was a great show, man. I had a good time today with the fellas. And we're going to take y'all out with a little bit of 2K Vegas. And
love for a city, I can swear I found my heart in. Raised in the desert, so the park was like the beach. Lorenzi on Sunday, grandma barbecued on weekends. Shopping in the rancho was just a swap meet kid. I feel Vegas when I pass by the Allegiant. Section 8 baby, but we still live decent. When we talk about the 7, they don't even know the meaning. Pissing prostitutes like birds and the bees here. Creeping down Owens, you might see a couple fiends near. It ain't always what it seems here, but you could wake up in a dream here, or you could wake up in your dreams dead.